On the evening of May 3, 2007, a 3-year-old British girl named Madeleine McCann vanished from her family's holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal. Her parents, Kate and Jerry McCann, were dining at a nearby restaurant with friends when Madeleine disappeared from her bed. The case became one of the most widely reported missing persons investigations in history, sparking a media frenzy that spanned continents. Despite extensive searches, countless leads, suspects, and millions spent on investigations, Madeleine's fate remains unknown. This is the story of her disappearance and the enduring mystery that continues to haunt the world. Part 1. The McCann Family. Madeleine Beth McCann was born on May 12, 2003, in Leicester, England, to Kate and Jerry McCann. She was the eldest of 3 children, with younger twin siblings, Sean and Amelie. The McCanns were a middle-class family. Both parents worked in medicine, Jerry as a cardiologist, Kate as a general practitioner. Friends described Madeleine as lively, playful, and independent, a little girl with striking blue-green eyes and a unique mark in her right eye, where the pupil ran into the iris. This detail would later make her one of the most recognizable missing children in the world. Part 2. The Holiday in Portugal. In late April 2007, the McCanns traveled with friends, a group later dubbed the Tapas 7, to the Algarve region of Portugal for a family holiday. They stayed at the Ocean Club Resort in Praia da Luz, a seaside town known for its safety and tourist-friendly atmosphere. The routine was simple: days spent at the pool or beach. Children attended a kids' club. Evenings shared over dinner at a tapas restaurant within the resort. The adults had adopted a system of checking, taking turns leaving dinner to check on their sleeping children every 20 to 30 minutes. The setup felt safe, familiar, harmless. No one imagined tragedy was about to strike. Part 3. May 3, 2007, the day of the disappearance. The day began like any other. The McCann family enjoyed breakfast, played tennis, and relaxed by the pool. In the evening, Madeleine and her siblings were put to bed around 7 p.m. in apartment 5A, while the adults headed to the tapas restaurant roughly 50 meters away. The sliding patio doors were left unlocked for easy access during checks. At 9:05 p.m., Jerry McCann checked on the children. He reported all was well. At 9:30 p.m., a family friend, Matthew Oldfield, also checked. He later admitted he only glanced into the room, hearing no noise, and assumed all was fine. At 10 p.m., Kate McCann went to check. She discovered Madeleine's bed empty. The window and shutters were open. Panic erupted. Part 4. Immediate chaos. Kate raised the alarm, running back to the restaurant shouting, "They've taken her. Someone's taken Madeleine." The group of friends split up, some searching the resort, others alerting staff and police. The atmosphere was chaotic. Shouting, running, confusion. Guests at the resort joined the search. Locals with flashlights combed the area, but no trace of Madeleine was found. Part 5. The police response. The first Portuguese police officers arrived around 11 p.m. Mistakes were made early. The apartment was not immediately sealed off. Dozens of people walked through, contaminating potential evidence. Delays slowed the issuing of roadblocks and border alerts. By morning, the case had already spiraled out of control. Part 6. Witness sightings. Several witnesses reported suspicious figures that night. Around 9:15 p.m., a man was seen carrying a child in pajamas near the McCann's apartment. Another sighting around 10 p.m. described a man heading toward the beach with a young girl. These accounts would fuel years of theories. Part 7. The global media storm. Within days, the story exploded worldwide. Madeleine's distinctive eye mark made her instantly recognizable. Posters, flyers, and billboards appeared across Europe. The McCanns launched a high-profile media campaign, giving interviews, appealing for help, and creating the Find Madeleine Fund. World leaders, including Pope Benedict XVI, met with the family. Madeleine's face became one of the most widely circulated images in modern history. But the attention was a double-edged sword. Part 8. The early theories. From the beginning, investigators considered multiple possibilities. 1. Abduction by a stranger supported by witness sightings. 2. Break-in gone wrong, though no clear signs of forced entry were found. 3. Accidental death and cover-up. A theory later turned against the McCanns themselves. The case was wide open, and controversy was brewing. Part 9. The McCanns under suspicion. By September 2007, the Portuguese police had shifted focus. Detectives suggested inconsistencies in the McCann statements. Cadaver dogs brought from the UK indicated possible traces of blood in the apartment and in the family's rental car. Kate and Jerry McCann were officially declared arguidos, suspects. The British press erupted with accusations, painting the McCanns as neglectful at best, criminal at worst. But there was no conclusive evidence. In 2008, Portuguese authorities cleared the McCanns, citing lack of proof. Still, suspicion lingered, and public opinion remained divided. Part 10. Years of searching. Despite setbacks, the search for Madeleine continued. Private investigators were hired. Leads were chased across continents. Sightings were reported in Morocco, Spain, even Australia, but none were confirmed. By 2011, the UK government launched Operation Grange, a Scotland Yard review of the case. Millions of pounds were invested. Teams combed through thousands of documents, re-interviewing witnesses. The case refused to fade. Part 11. Suspects and suspicion. The disappearance of a child always generates theories, some grounded in evidence, others in speculation. From the earliest days, Portuguese and British investigators focused on several lines of inquiry. The stranger abduction theory. Witnesses claimed they saw a man carrying a child away from the apartment. Composite sketches were made, though descriptions varied. Some believed Madeleine was targeted for trafficking. The burglary theory. Some speculated burglars entered to steal valuables and panicked upon finding children inside. But little evidence of a break-in supported this. The McCanns themselves. The Portuguese police increasingly suspected Kate and Jerry. Their calm demeanor was criticized. The cadaver dog alerts in the apartment and rental car were seen as suspicious. No hard evidence ever emerged against the parents. In 2008, they were officially cleared. Still, suspicion clung to them for years, fueled by the press. Part 12. The Tapas 7. The McCanns were not alone in Portugal. Their group of friends, later known as the Tapas 7, were questioned extensively. The group included Jane Tanner, Matthew and Rachel Oldfield, Russell O'Brien and Fiona Payne, David and Fiona Payne. Their accounts of the evening checks varied slightly. Some critics seized on these discrepancies as proof of a cover-up. But police never found evidence implicating any of them. Part 13. Media frenzy and public perception. The Madeleine McCann case became one of the most heavily covered missing person stories in modern history. Front-page headlines dominated tabloids across Europe. British papers painted the McCanns alternately as victims and villains. The Portuguese press often criticized them harshly, suggesting negligence or worse. This relentless coverage made the case infamous, but it also contaminated public understanding with rumor, speculation, and false leads. Part 14. The role of private investigators. When official investigations slowed, the McCanns funded private detectives through the Find Madeleine campaign. Teams pursued leads across Morocco, Spain, and beyond. Some believed Madeleine had been smuggled into North Africa. Others followed theories of trafficking into Europe. Dozens of supposed sightings were reported. None were confirmed. Part 15. Operation Grange. In 2011, the UK government launched Operation Grange, a metropolitan police review of the case. Key findings included: the timeline of events was re-examined. Hundreds of possible suspects were identified. Some leads were ruled out, others revived. By 2013, Portuguese and British police cooperated in joint operations. Ground searches were conducted around Praia da Luz. New witnesses were interviewed. Still, Madeleine was not found. Part 16. Key suspects. Over the years, several suspects drew attention. 1. The creepy resort worker. A man known for odd behavior near the Ocean Club was investigated. No evidence tied him to the disappearance. 2. Local burglars. Phone records showed burglar activity in the area around the time of Madeleine's disappearance. The theory: she may have woken during a burglary and been taken. 3. The German connection. In 2020, German prosecutors announced they were investigating Christian Bruckner, a convicted sex offender who had lived in Portugal. Bruckner was in Praia da Luz when Madeleine vanished. His phone was traced to the area that night. He had a history of child abuse and burglary. German authorities declared they believed Madeleine was dead. As of today, Bruckner remains the prime suspect, but no definitive evidence has tied him to the crime. Part 17. The McCanns versus the media. The McCanns became both symbols of hope and targets of suspicion. British tabloids ran sensational headlines accusing them of involvement. In 2008, the McCanns successfully sued several newspapers for defamation, winning damages and public apologies. Despite their legal victories, the damage to their reputation lingered. To some, they remain grieving parents. To others, they remain under a cloud of doubt. Part 18. The human cost. The disappearance devastated the McCann family. Kate McCann later described endless guilt over leaving the children unattended. The twins, Sean and Amelie, grew up under constant media attention, their childhood marked by the shadow of Madeleine's absence. Every anniversary brought painful reminders but also global attention, keeping the case alive. Part 19. Theories that persist. The case remains unsolved, and theories abound. Stranger abduction. A predator targeted Madeleine. Trafficking. She was abducted for organized crime. Accident and cover-up. Some still suspect the McCanns. German suspect Bruckner, the most current and plausible lead. Each theory has supporters and detractors. The lack of conclusive evidence keeps speculation alive. Part 20. Legacy of the case. The vanishing of Madeleine McCann changed the world in several ways. It exposed flaws in Portuguese and British cooperation on cross-border crimes. It highlighted how media can both aid and damage investigations. It sparked debates about parenting, safety, and responsibility. It created one of the most enduring mysteries of the 21st century. Madeleine would be 20 years old today. Her fate remains unknown. Conclusion. On a warm May evening in 2007, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann disappeared from her holiday apartment. In the years since, the world has searched, speculated, and debated. Millions of pounds, thousands of hours, countless leads, and still no answers.